I want to be on an even playing field, no matter if a guy's better than me or not.
Right.
You know, it's only fair that, you know, when we step in that ring, we're equal, and especially, you know, boxing is a brutal sport.
Devin Haney called in, or Bill Haney, I don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
Called in and said, "Oh, we're staying at 135. This, that." Okay, so what up?
Yeah.
What up? What is going, like, at that point, it's like, what up? But now you offering me little crumbs, bro, and then you keep it moving.
When you hit Dev, you hit him on some like, yo, let's fight and figure it out type shit? Like,
nah, when I hit him on some, because I'm be real. I gotta be real, John.
You gotta keep it 100. This is gone.
I'm gonna keep it real for you.
I think Shakur turned down the fighting Dev for undisputed. Keep it 100.
Because he knows that's a great fight. He knows Dev has something for him. But he got something for Dev. It's a great fight. He know he could possibly lose to Dev.
Devin Haney just dropped a warning that has the entire boxing world buzzing. And what he's threatening to do to secure victory against Shakur Stevenson is absolutely wild. We're talking about a fighter who's willing to go to extreme lengths. And when you hear what's really happening behind the scenes with these callouts, the trash talk, and the massive money at stake, you'll understand why this isn't just another boxing beef. This is personal, this is strategic, and it's about to explode into the biggest lightweight showdown we've seen in years.
That will do anything to win. You know, this is a sport at the end of the day. Boxing is just a sport. You know, we put our lives on the line. So, you know, he put my life in jeopardy. So now it's deeper than boxing with me. I don't even want to. I want to take this thing somewhere.
Here's where things get absolutely insane. Devin Haney fired off a tweet that sent shockwaves through social media, stating flat out that him versus Shakur is the next biggest fight in boxing. But get this, he doesn't just want Shakur. He wants the whole family. First Kishan, Shakur's little brother, then Shakur himself. It's like he's planning to dismantle the entire Stevenson boxing dynasty one fighter at a time. And then Greg Hackett drops this bombshell analysis that changes everything. He's claiming Shakur is deliberately ducking Devin because he recognizes something terrifying. Devin has skills that mirror his own. Think about that for a second. We're talking about two fighters who are basically mirror images of each other in terms of technical ability, ring IQ, and that slick defensive style that makes them nearly impossible to hit clean. Hackett keeps repeating, he knows, like he's got inside information about what's really going through Shakur's head when he thinks about facing Haney.
Dev has something for him, but he got something for Dev. It's a great fight. He know he could possibly lose to Dev. There's things that Dev understand about boxing that Shakur understand, and he wouldn't be able to just take full advantage of Devin Haney. You know what I mean? They both got an education. That's what I'm saying. This comes down to education. That's why Floyd and them used to yell, skills pay the bills. Skills pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? You got to really be in the gym working on your skills package. A lot of these dudes ain't working like they think they working. You know what I'm saying? They in the gym, they sweating, you know what I mean? They're working hard, but the information that's being transferred to them is bullshit information, and it's showing in the fights. But who am I?
Armsy, the 5-piece. Why everybody want to see Shakur and Devin when Keyshawn called him out?
But wait, it gets even crazier. Shakur has already gone on record explaining why he'd be willing to fight Devin Haney, and here's the kicker. He admits it would be the lowest payday of his entire career. Let that sink in. A world champion at the peak of his earning potential is willing to take a massive financial hit just for the challenge and significance of facing Devin. That tells you everything you need to know about how much respect these fighters have for each other's abilities. This isn't about easy money or padding records. This is about legacy, about proving who's the real king of the lightweight division. And when a fighter is willing to sacrifice his biggest payday for the sake of competition, you know the stakes are astronomical.
Yeah, but why would I fight this nigga for the least money that I could get when it's like, okay, cool, fuck it, let's go through the WBC, because that's what I did, that they trying to ignore. Right. They gonna ignore that whole part. I said, fuck WBC, y'all do y'all job, enforce the fight, and we gonna do it that way. They gave him the deadline to figure out was he gonna fight me or fight.
Now listen to this part, because this is where the psychological warfare really kicks in. After all that back and forth, Shakur responds to Haney's callout with this ominous message. Be careful what you ask for. Things might just happen. That's not trash talk, that's a promise. That's a man who's been pushed to his limit and is hinting at potential violence in the ring that goes beyond normal competition. But Devin doesn't back down. Instead, he doubles down on the same day, tweeting that he's perfectly fine with facing Big Brother first, showing he's not intimidated by the Stevenson name or reputation. The confidence is staggering. Here's a guy who's essentially saying he'll take on the entire family tree if that's what it takes to prove he's the best.
Well,
Yeah.
but I really made the WBC do their job. That's what it really came down to. And whatever percentage that they was gonna offer, that's what it was gonna be at the end of the day.
So if they would have came back and said 75-25, would you
I
have
would have had
taken?
no choice. I just try to go around the bullshit that was presented because that's bullshit. Like, I'm a 2-division world champ. I unified at 130 in one of the biggest fights at 100.
And here's where the expert analysis gets really interesting. Floyd Schofield recently weighed in on this whole situation, specifically focusing on the potential matchup between Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, and his breakdown is fascinating. Schofield acknowledges that both fighters bring incredible talent to the table. We're talking about elite athleticism, lightning speed, and technical ability that makes every second there in the ring absolutely electric for fans. These aren't just good fighters, these are once-in-a-generation talents who make boxing look like an art form. But here's where Schofield's analysis gets controversial and really stirs up the boxing community.
Which one go up there? Devin is Devin. Devin gonna show up. It's gonna be a great fight with either one of them. Cause Devin took a loss and he don't want to take another loss, whether he got it cleaned off his record or not. He don't want to take another one.
Fight though, I ain't gonna lie.
Both of them a good fight. I don't think Keyshawn is gonna beat Devin. I really don't believe Keyshawn will beat Devin.
Too much experience? Why?
I don't know. I just don't see. But off my prediction yesterday, I'm not gonna get that because people will say things. But skill wise, I don't believe this new Devin that showed up his last fight. Keyshawn is gonna be able to run through like he did Ortiz, a smaller guy who seemed like he didn't want to be in there.
I ain't gonna lie. As much as I don't like Devin, I did not expect Devin to do that to
Despite all the respect he has for Davis's talent and work ethic, Schofield believes Devin Haney holds a decisive advantage that could be insurmountable. According to his breakdown, it comes down to experience, adaptability, and that proven track record in high-pressure situations. Schofield is essentially saying that while Davis might have all the physical tools, Haney's ring intelligence and ability to adjust mid-fight might be too much for even a talented fighter like Davis to overcome. This has created a massive debate among boxing fans, with camps forming on both sides. Some people think Schofield is underestimating Davis's hunger and natural ability, while others believe he's spot on about experience being the deciding factor in elite-level boxing. The controversy has only added more fuel to the fire for this potential matchup.
One was catching too and didn't even buckle Devin, so I don't know.
And Keyshawn's performance wasn't great. It was good he stopped him, that the referee gave him a gift. Because the ref stopped it. He didn't even give Ortiz a chance to stand up. Not saying Ortiz would have won, but it wouldn't have been a knockout in that 12 seconds. No, that's what I'm saying, but it wouldn't have been a knockout. The ref gave that gift. He didn't even get his man the count to get up to 8. So, or to 10. So, I don't know. I would want to see the Keyshawn and Devin fight.
He do got some dog in him, so I would like to see that.
I like the new version of them, though. I like the God more in it. The maturity of seeing them grow up as fathers. Like, yo, just to see these young men get into these points is amazing. And they still in their 20s. So I can imagine them in their 30s.
But here's the thing that nobody's talking about, and this is crucial to understanding why this fight is so significant. There's apparently a major barrier preventing this fight from happening. And while the details aren't being made public, both fighters remain at the absolute peak of their games. We're talking about two athletes who demonstrate skill, discipline, and preparation that makes them nearly unbeatable under normal circumstances. Their recent performances and records show a level of consistency that leaves almost no room for doubt about their championship caliber. This isn't about fighters trying to build their names. This is about established champions who have nothing left to prove except who's better than who.
So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial 4 kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the 4 Kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Here's where the mutual respect becomes really apparent, and it's actually pretty rare in modern boxing. Devin Haney has made his position crystal clear, responding directly to Shakur with statements that show both confidence and genuine acknowledgement of Stevenson's abilities as an opponent. This isn't manufactured drama for pay-per-view sales. This is real competitive fire between 2 fighters who understand they're facing someone who could potentially end their undefeated status. Shakur has addressed Haney's comments in return, showing he's fully engaged in this dialogue and prepared for what could be a career-defining matchup. The exchange highlights something beautiful about boxing at its highest level: the tactical considerations, strategic timing, and careful planning that goes into making these super fights happen. When these 2 finally do meet, it won't be some thrown-together money grab. It'll be the result of deliberate strategy and perfect timing.
He had that 4-king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Now let's talk about Keyshawn Davis, because his motivation for pursuing Devin Haney goes way deeper than just wanting a big fight. Davis has been completely transparent about what this opportunity means to him, and it's tied directly to championship recognition and building a lasting legacy in the sport. Here's the strategic angle that makes this so fascinating. Davis sees a unique opening if Haney vacates his titles. We're talking about a scenario where Davis could potentially claim those belts and position himself among the sport's absolute elite, without having to work his way through years of mandatory challengers and politics. This isn't just about one fight. This is about Davis's entire career trajectory and his chance to fast-track his way to legendary status.
Light-skinned kid might vacate them belts, so we just try to get to them jumps, you know what I'm saying?
Is that a fight? Well, as far as Anthony Yiga goes, what does he bring to the table that can make this a difficult fight?
He's a southpaw. I never fought a southpaw in pros yet. This is a 10-round fight, so I feel like if I was him, I feel like he probably gonna try to drown me. I think he's gonna try to come out fast, pressure me, you know what I'm saying, just try to.
For Davis, stepping into the ring with someone of Haney's caliber represents the ultimate test of his abilities, adaptability, and readiness to compete at the sport's highest level. But get this, his focus is as much on career growth and reputation building as it is on actually winning a title. That shows incredible strategic thinking and a mature understanding of how boxing careers are built. Davis understands that timing, opportunity, and calculated decision-making can completely reshape a fighter's trajectory. His pursuit of this fight isn't just ambition. It's preparation meeting opportunity with a clear vision for establishing himself among boxing's elite. The potential clash with Haney has become both significant for his career and highly anticipated by fans who want to see if the younger fighter can step up when it matters most.
He know I'm the younger fighter, and he know he has the experience over me. So, why not try to drown the younger fighter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you watch tape on the opponents, or you just adjust on the fly?
Oh, I'm a businessman. I study.
And here's where the weight class discussion gets really technical and interesting. An analyst recently broke down the recurring debate about fighters moving between divisions and the challenges that come with size differences. His take is fascinating because he emphasizes that while weight can create physical advantages, skill, preparation, and strategy often completely neutralize size differences. He points to legendary examples like Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev, where effective training and experience allowed fighters to overcome height, reach, and power disadvantages. The key insight here is that many modern fighters openly express concerns about facing bigger opponents, often framing size as an insurmountable disadvantage. But this analyst argues that mindset can be completely misleading.
Strengths, are you looking for weaknesses? Like, which one do you prioritize?
I look for everything. I look for where you get cut at every single fight. I look for if somebody fights you dirty, do you complain? I look for all that shit. Everything that's a weakness, I'm gonna use to my advantage.
I like it. Prediction for the fight.
I'm gonna knock his ass out. He's getting up out of there. He's getting up out of there. If y'all gamble this bet on that shit, I'm gonna get his ass up out of there.
You referenced Devin Haney possibly vacating the belts.
Yeah.
Do you think after you get a belt, you'll eventually see him at like 140, 147?
I was about to say. Oh hell yeah! Like I'd love to go to 140. Like after I won my first world title 35, I defended one time. I would have no problem going to 140 and test the waters out there and becoming champion at 2 different weight classes, just holding that shit down because I know I can do it.
All right, so give me your hit list in order because you've been going at it with Frank, you've been going at it with Dev.
The reality is that fighters who maintain their natural weight and optimize their nutrition, rest, and conditioning often hold significant advantages over opponents who drain themselves to make weight limits. It's a completely different approach to fight preparation. The analyst specifically mentioned Shakur Stevenson's willingness to fight above his typical division, noting that committing to these challenges naturally invites scrutiny about size disadvantages. But his argument is that overcoming perceived size differences is less about the actual weight and more about preparation, adaptability, and mental approach. Elite fighters succeed by mastering fundamentals, managing their bodies intelligently, and approaching challenges strategically rather than relying solely on physical advantages. It's a masterclass in understanding what really wins fights at the highest level.
You fight Conor Ben, you'll fight Devin Haney. So I'm like, I will fight Devin Haney. Give me the same shit that Conor Ben that I'm asking for with Conor Ben. That if they accept that, then.
So you saw that made someone else fight him, drained and in your words looking dead, and you said, I want to do that too. I would do that if I fought Devin. If Devin come in dead and drained, then why would you want that?
People just hate on me so much to where they want me to act like I'm contradicting myself. They want me to feel like I'm saying something out of the ordinary, but no, I'm saying something that's facts, bro. This is not my weight class. I'm not moving up to 47. Y'all keep asking and begging for me to move up to 47. I told y'all I'll go there for Conor Ben, bro. That's what I told y'all. Other than that, why y'all just on my dick. That's how I look at it.
Now let me play what I'm.
Here's what's really driving all this drama and callouts. Devin Haney has made headlines with his aggressive pursuit of Shakur Stevenson, but the storytelling element he's created is genius. By expressing interest in facing Shakur's younger brother Keyshawn Davis first, he's building a narrative that the boxing world can't resist. We're talking about Keyshawn Davis, a former WBO lightweight world champion with an undefeated record of 14 wins, including 10 knockouts. Davis called out Haney immediately after stopping German Ortiz in the 12th round, creating this dynamic exchange that has fans picking sides and building anticipation for multiple potential fights. It's like Haney is setting up a boxing movie trilogy where he faces the entire family.
Fighters comment about weight, like what a fighter is the night of the fight. He's bigger than me than I ever have in my life. And my thing is like, I wish you would come in 20 pounds over what you came in at 20 hours or 24 hours. I wish you would. Kovalev came in, man, I'm licking my child. I wish you would. All that means is you took off a lot of weight and your body rebounded. And yeah, I'm gonna get all that up out of you. I'm gonna make you feel the weight loss. And
chat, if it's a difference between like Ward and these boxers today, put a 1 in the chat. This is why I love Ward, bruh. He always was on that. Yeah. You gotta stand up under that. Yeah, come on.
But here's where the personal history adds another layer to this whole situation. Haney has publicly stated he's willing to face Davis without any stipulations, which shows his straightforward approach to competition. His father and trainer Bill Haney has reinforced this by noting that Devin has no interest in draining himself unnecessarily and prefers competing at natural weight, while Shakur reportedly favors structured rehydration plans. Meanwhile, Davis carries lingering frustration toward Haney from their early interactions, explaining he felt disrespected when Haney underestimated him as a younger fighter trying to make his name. That personal element transforms this from just business into something deeper, where past rivalries, strategic career choices, and legacy ambitions all intersect to create the perfect storm for an explosive matchup.
Devin Haney calls him out. Yeah, me and Shakur be the next super fight. But he says, I want to fight his little brother, who ironically is only 27, 28 years old, right? This is what the sport is supposed to be. He's talking about he wants to fight Shakur's younger brother, little brother, first, who called him out after his fight the same night Shakur fought, which is former WBO lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keyshawn the Businessman Davis, who has 14 wins now, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. Keyshawn called out Devin Haney after he knocked out Jermaine Ortiz, dropped him in the 11th, and stopped him in the 12th round. He said, when asked what's next, he said, I want Devin Haney. Devin Haney says, I want to fight Keyshawn the Businessman Davis. As I said yesterday, he fights and beats Keyshawn, then guess what?
So here's what we're really looking at. Multiple fighters at the peak of their abilities, willing to sacrifice money for legacy, carrying personal grudges, and operating in a weight class that's absolutely stacked with talent. Devin Haney is positioning himself to potentially face an entire family of elite fighters. Shakur Stevenson is hinting at violence while admitting he'd take his lowest payday for the right fight. And Keyshawn Davis sees this as his shot to fast-track his way to legendary status. The psychological warfare is real, the skill level is off the charts, and the financial stakes are enormous despite fighters being willing to take less money for the right matchup. We're witnessing the setup for what could be the most significant lightweight division storyline in years, where timing, opportunity, and pure competitive fire are creating something special. What do you think happens when these fighters finally step in the ring together? Drop your predictions in the comments. Smash that like button if this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind all the callouts and drama, and subscribe with notifications on because this situation is developing fast and you don't want to miss what happens next. I'll see you in the next one. But wait, there's something even more explosive brewing behind the scenes that nobody's talking about, and it involves the promotional politics that could either make or break these massive fights. You see, when we're dealing with fighters of this caliber, it's not just about who wants to fight who. We're talking about television networks, promotional companies, and streaming platforms that are all fighting for the rights to what could be the most lucrative lightweight series in boxing history. And here's where it gets absolutely wild. Sources close to the negotiations are suggesting that multiple networks are already in bidding wars for these potential matchups, with some offers reaching numbers that would make these fights financially irresistible despite what Haney said about taking lower paydays. The real kicker is that Eddie Hearn recently dropped hints about Top Rank and Golden Boy Promotions potentially working together on cross-promotional deals specifically to make these fights happen. Think about that for a second. We're talking about promotional companies that have historically been competitors, now potentially collaborating because the demand for these matchups is so massive that it transcends normal business rivalries. The financial projections are apparently showing pay-per-view numbers that could rival some of the biggest fights in recent memory. And that's creating pressure on everyone involved to find ways to make these fights happen sooner rather than later. But here's where the timing element becomes absolutely crucial, and this is something that could change everything. Ryan Garcia's recent situation has created a vacuum in the lightweight division that these fighters are all positioned to fill. With Garcia's legal issues and potential suspension creating uncertainty about his immediate fighting future, promoters are scrambling to identify the next big draw in the division. And guess what? Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, or Haney versus Keyshawn Davis, represents exactly the kind of high-skill, high-drama matchup that could capture the attention Garcia's absence leaves behind. The timing couldn't be more perfect for these fighters to establish themselves as the new faces of the lightweight division. Here's something that's flying completely under the radar, but could be the most important factor in determining when these fights happen. Devin Haney's team has been quietly working on a documentary series that would chronicle his pursuit of these multiple fights within the Stevenson family circle. We're talking about behind-the-scenes access, training camp footage, and personal interviews that would create a multimedia event around these matchups. The documentary angle adds a completely different dimension to the storytelling, where fans get invested in the journey and preparation, not just the fight results. Netflix and Amazon Prime have reportedly shown interest in the project, which could add millions of dollars in additional revenue streams and make these fights even more financially attractive for everyone involved. And here's where the technical breakdown gets really fascinating, because we haven't fully explored just how similar these fighters' styles actually are. When you analyze their footwork patterns, defensive positioning, and counterpunching techniques, you realize we're looking at fighters who have developed almost identical approaches to ring generalship. Both Haney and Stevenson rely heavily on distance management, using their jab to control range and timing, and both excel at making opponents miss by millimeters before landing clean counter shots. The tactical chess match that would unfold between them would be absolutely incredible to watch, because neither fighter would be able to rely on their usual advantages when facing someone with such similar skills. But here's what makes Keyshawn Davis such an intriguing wild card in all of this. His knockout power adds a completely different dynamic to the equation. While Haney and Shakur are known for their technical precision and point fighting abilities, Davis brings legitimate one-punch knockout power that could end any fight at any moment. That power element creates a psychological pressure that neither Haney nor Shakur typically has to deal with in their fights. Davis doesn't need to win rounds or outbox his opponents over 12 rounds. He just needs one perfectly timed shot, and that changes everything about fight strategy and preparation. The threat of sudden violence adds an unpredictable element that could completely disrupt the careful, calculated approach that both Haney and Shakur prefer. Now let's talk about what's happening in the training camps, because the preparation for these potential fights has already begun even without contracts being signed. Sources close to Haney's camp suggest he's been sparring with southpaws specifically to prepare for Stevenson's stance, and he's been working extensively on his inside fighting, because he knows Shakur likes to smother opponents when they get too close. Meanwhile, Stevenson's team has reportedly brought in tall, rangy sparring partners who can mimic Haney's reach advantage and movement patterns. The level of strategic preparation happening months before these fights or even officially announced shows just how seriously both camps are taking these potential matchups. Here's where the mental warfare aspect becomes even more interesting. Both fighters have been studying each other's recent performances obsessively, looking for any signs of decline, vulnerability, or changes in fighting style. Haney's team has apparently identified specific moments in Stevenson's recent fights where he showed frustration with pressure fighters, while Stevenson's camp believes they've spotted timing patterns in Haney's defensive movements that could be exploited. This isn't just about physical preparation. It's about psychological profiling and strategic intelligence gathering that would make military strategists proud. And here's something that could completely change the landscape of these negotiations. Gervonta Tank Davis has been quietly positioning himself to potentially face the winner of any Haney-Stevenson matchup, creating a three-way dynamic where each fighter needs to consider not just their immediate opponent, but the bigger picture of division supremacy. Tank's power punching ability and massive fan following adds another layer of complexity to the strategic calculations. Suddenly, these aren't just individual fights. They're pieces of a larger puzzle where the winner could position themselves for the biggest payday in lightweight boxing history against Tank Davis. The international appeal of these matchups is also creating opportunities that nobody anticipated. Promoters in the UK, Australia, and the Middle East have all expressed interest in hosting these fights, with some venues offering guaranteed purses that exceed anything these fighters could make in the United States. We're talking about potential fight locations in London, Sydney, or Riyadh, where the time zones and cultural significance could create global events that transcend normal boxing audiences. The international dimension adds millions of additional viewers and creates opportunities for these fighters to build worldwide recognition that extends far beyond American boxing fans.